and do some more Canelo talk on the upset, via Dimitri Bibbo. Kind of when you think about it, it really shouldn't be considered an upset. He was the bigger dude. He was clearly bigger. Now, they're saying that Canelo has a rematch clause to where, he gets a rematch. Um, Hopefully Canelo is smart enough not to fight Dimitri Bivol again. I think Canelo will get stopped if he fights Dimitri Bivol again because Canelo didn't try to make no adjustments. I think he was shocked by how big Bivol was. I think he was shocked by his strength. He couldn't do nothing to hurt Bivol. And you could clearly see that Canelo was visibly shaken after the sixth round. He looked clueless out there. He looked like, what have I got myself into? So, you know, you kind of saw where this was going. Many of us believe had Bibble put on a little bit more pressure on Canelo, he could have stopped him. He just was bigger, he was stronger, he was faster. He did all the right things. And like I said before, you actually had people thinking that Canelo could beat Andre Ward. Oh, and by the way, the Canelo stands flagged my video, so I couldn't instantly monetize it. Just petty, childish. But I'll win my appeal. I'm gonna put y'all on blast every time y'all do that. I'm gonna put y'all on blast. No reason for my video not to be monetized, but that just goes to show you the sore losers that they are, and I think that's pathetic. Because at the end of the day, it's just boxing. It you know, Canelo just bit off more than he could chew. Okay, he should stay at 168. That's his limit. He can't beat any of those dudes at 175. He will get curb stomped by Artur Beterbiev. Okay. So what he gonna try to do in the rematch? He gonna try to put a weight clause, you know, and for the rematch. I don't think Canelo should fight at. I don't think Canelo should fight at 175 no more because he took a beating, and Dimitri Bibble will beat him worse. Yeah, Dalton Canelo gonna get stopped if he fights Bibble a second time. He has a rematch clause. He better not let his foolish Mexican pride get in the way. He should just take his L and just say, "Hey, I'm not big enough for 175. I got away with it once. I'm not going to see." Like I said, when it's no stipulations, when Canelo can't have his way in negotiations, this is what happens to him. He couldn't handle Dimitri Bibble's size. He couldn't handle his strength. He couldn't handle the counter punching. He couldn't handle Dimitri Bibble's defense. First of all, the scorecards were atrocious, and those scorecards were handed in 2 weeks ahead of time. There is no way in hell you could tell me that Dimitri Bibble lost 5 rounds in that fight. At best, I'm talking about worst case scenario, he lost 3 rounds. Some people had him winning 10 rounds. 10 rounds to 2. I gave I had Canelo winning 3 rounds. And you might can make an argument one could have been an even round, but that was a domination. He should go back down to 168. He should never try to fight at 175 again because I'm telling you, Canelo gonna get seriously hurt. He's gonna get hurt if he fights Dimitri Bibble in a rematch. I don't see nothing that he could do different in a rematch that would better his chances of beating Dimitri Bivol. He can't hurt him. He couldn't hurt him. When you can't hurt nobody and when somebody is clearly stronger than you and they're not afraid of you, what adjustments can you make in the set? You don't think Bivol will make some adjustments in the second fight? Bivol is knocking Canelo out if Canelo fights him again. He's stopping Canelo. Or Canelo's corner is going to throw in the towel. Canelo was taking a beating in that fight. Yeah, Canelo was getting hey Texas T Canelo was getting punked. Can we just keep it 100? He was getting punked, he was getting bullied, and you could see the frustration. See, those announcers was being nice because they have to follow a certain script. But if that was me, I would have been telling the truth. I would have been saying Canelo looks frustrated in it. Well, Sergio Mora tried to get as close to telling the truth. He said, I see frustration in Canelo. If it was me, I'd say Canelo getting whooped on. And if they would have asked me, this fight isn't even close. And if they asked me, what do I think of a rematch? I would tell Canelo to stay clear the hell away from Dimitri Bivol. He need to stay clear away from 175. He's not big enough for 175. And like I said before, there was and you had a few idiots saying that this dude could go up to heavyweight and beat Uslik. And what for real? And what fantasy? This foolishness was Canelo has to stop. Okay? This foolishness has to stop because he ain't good enough to fight at no heavyweight. Okay? All this stuff about Canelo loves to take risks. No, Canelo went by Dimitri Bivol's record. That's what he went by. He went by that record. He went by that 17. He went by that 17 and 0 record. And he thought Dimitri Bivol didn't have enough experience for him. And that's what it was. He went by that record. See, he thought he would strike gold a second time like he did with Caleb Plant. And I told you, if you start jabbing Canelo has a hard time getting past a dude with a good jab. And it was funny, dude said it's not like he was fighting Larry Holmes. Canelo has always had a problem with dudes that had a good jab. See what Bivol wanted to do, he wanted to feel. I think Bivol wanted to. I think Bivol wanted to see would Canelo's so-called power bother him. And I think after the second round, when Bivol knew, okay, I don't think this dude can hurt me, so I'm gonna take some chances. Because once Bivol started hitting Canelo with combinations, Canelo looked. Canelo looked clueless up in there. Canelo was looking at his corner and stuff. When somebody looking at their corner while they in the middle of a fight, they looking like, what have I got myself into? That mean Canelo knew he was losing the fight. That mean Canelo knew he was going to lose that fight. And like I said before, Canelo would be foolish to get in the ring with Dimitri Bivol a second time because it's going to be worse. Here's the thing. He lost to a dude that wasn't even in the top 10 pound per pound best fighter. Well, the mythical pound per pound list. Okay. Bivol isn't on anybody's pound per pound list. And Canelo got whooped. Canelo is supposed to be considered the best fighter in the world. Well, he ain't. Not anymore. Until further notice, Terrence Crawford is clearly the number one pound per pound best fighter on the planet, and I'm going to talk about that. So you know what? Canelo slips way. When I say Canelo taking a loss like that, Canelo to me slips out of the top 10 when you lose to somebody like Bibble, I knew Bibble had it in him, but I was just worried about Bibble getting a fair shot. I always thought that Bibble could beat him if the fight was on the up and up. But yeah, Bibble whooped on Canelo. No way in hell that fight was 115, 1-0 in favor of Bibble. That fight was easily, you know what I'm saying, for real. That fight should have been like more like 117, 113. Man, that fight wasn't even, when I say that fight wasn't even close, that fight was easy to score. So my thing is with Canelo, um, I highly recommend Canelo doesn't fight Bibble again. I highly recommend it because if he fights him again, Bibble's gonna stop him. It's not no adjustments that he can make to where Bibble won't be able. Bibble proved that he could make adjustments, and Canelo can't. And Canelo can't hurt him. He never once had Bibble in trouble. Bibble was touching Canelo up. He was lumping Canelo up. He schooled Canelo. Now now the next morning when the Mexicans come off their hangovers and all that stuff, when they, right now they at whatever hotel casino they at, getting drunk, snorting some cocaine and all that kind of stuff. When they recover in the morning, they'll come on channels making excuse after excuse, and they got actually some people. Oh yeah, and that dude, Alexander Boslik, that dude is, man, stop it. You know the dude that Arthur Beterbiev retired? He said that he thought Canelo won the fight. Man, stop it. Dude, stop it. Then you had people saying, oh, it was a close fight. How? How was it a close fight? What planet? How was that a close fight? I couldn't believe Alexander Uslik said that he thought that Canelo won that fight. You talked about the Canelo that looked like he wanted to quit. Canelo looked like he wanted to quit in that fight. Like I said, he was looking at his corner. Well, Canelo got to play that role, and he got to play up to his fans. Canelo know he didn't win that fight. He know damn well he didn't win that fight. Canelo's fans, them Mexicans is in them casinos getting drunk, snorting cocaine, doing God knows what. Like I said, because they got to get over the pain of seeing Canelo getting worked. Canelo got worked. He got worked. He got worked. There ain't nobody, like I said, you doing yourself a great disservice by saying that Canelo won that fight. And Canelo is doing himself a disservice by saying he thought he won that fight. Canelo, you know damn well you didn't win that fight. Why was you looking like you wanted to quit? Why was you looking at your corner every time the Bibble was touching your ass up? And you lucky that you didn't get Victor Ortiz. Because if that was me. I would have stole off Canelo. I don't care. Protect yourself at all times. But stop, man, stop it, dude. You didn't win that fight. Nobody with common sense thought he won that fight, man. You got to be a junkie, a complete junkie to think, or you just don't know nothing about boxing. That fight wasn't even the fight wasn't even close. It wasn't. It was practically a blowout. Then Canelo know he getting whooped, and he telling Dimitri Bibble to come on. Hey, he lucky Dimitri Bibble didn't come on. Dimitri Bibble, like I said, I watch a lot of boxing. Bibble could have stopped Canelo. If Bibble really would have like poured the punishment on, he would have knocked Canelo out. And if Canelo fights him again, Canelo is getting stopped. He's getting stopped in that fight. If he fights him again, he's getting knocked out. Canelo needs to just step aside and let us get await the winner of Joe Smith Jr. and Arthur Beterbiev, and then we could get undisputed at light heavyweight. Canelo needs to just stay out the way and just, you know what I'm saying? Just stay out the way. He cherry picked and it went wrong. It went terribly wrong. He was fooled by Dimitri Bibble's record. He was fooled by that record. He thought he didn't have the experience to beat him. And boy, was he wrong. I can tell you right now, they gonna advise Canelo not to. I'm telling you, if Canelo's corner is smart, his management and even his fan, Canelo need to get the hell out of 175. Don't ever fight at 175 again. You reached your peak at 168. You can't hurt anybody at 17. You can't hurt anybody at 17. Canelo's punches didn't affect Bibble in no way, shape, or form. And then he said he said he a vegan. Oh, so there's also okay. So that means if you a vegan, then that also proved it also proved that mystery meat might have played a role in you, uh, you know, might have played a big role in the results of some of your fights. Because Bibble, he took Canelo's best shots and he wasn't even dazed by it. He was like, "That's it. That's it." That's it. Bibble. The thing is, he couldn't. At the end of the day, one, he couldn't really. Even when he landed some good shots on Bibble, he couldn't hit. He just was never able to hit him flush. And Bibble was rolling his punches and turning his body to where he couldn't feel the full effect of Canelo's punches or his power. So it went exactly like for real. Bibble knew he had him. Bibble wasn't worried about Canelo. Bibble knew after the fifth round. He said, "I got this dude." He said, "I got him." You could clearly see you could see the strength advantage. You could see the power advantage. And Bibble's footwork was a lot better than what we usually had saw. His counter punching was there. His defense was there. I'm just talking. For real, he was slipping Canelo's punches. He was rolling Canelo's punches. Canelo, I just think Canelo was just shocked. He looked befuddled. He looked like, what have I gotten myself into? But I didn't see his post-fight press conference. If he sat up there and said he thought he won the fight, man, he just okay, he's just pathetic. That's what I mean. But that seemed to always and I have to say this, man. This is just real talk. I see this a lot, in particularly with some of them Hispanic fighters. Like, just say dude beat me. Just say dude was the better man that night. Just say he got me. And then some of the people in the media trying to say that they thought that fight was close, just stop it. And it was funny. A lot of these people, I could tell now, a lot of them, I think a lot of people wanted to say that they thought that Bibble was gonna win that fight before the fight, but they just didn't want to say it because they knew what be going on with Canelo. But there was no rehydration clause. So now you see that there's something to Canelo, and Canelo is not the pound for pound number one fighter on the planet. Anyway, be back with more. It's your boy Town Biz. I'm out.